being like, hey, by the way, when it comes down to being mean, and there's a lot of mean people around here. It really sucks when you deal with mean people. And what happens is when you deal with mean people, you have to, I guess, maybe sometimes tank, their about me page, and that happened by accident. And so when you tank the about me page, that's a really mean thing to do. But when you're around a community of boss owners and where you share together, you work together, it's so fantastic. And so what I want to do, I want to introduce Larissa. She's the owner. She means business. She means business. So go ahead, click the link below.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that. So segueing into that. So welcome to the I don't know, the I Lift I collaboration, community collaboration. And so today we have Clarissa, the owner of She Means Business, and she's going to tell us what business does she mean.
I don't
So,
know what any business. I mean, any business. That's the thing. So, She Means Business came about because I was trying to start my own business and could not find somebody who would let me advertise myself. And it just was so confusing to me because I was like, how are we supposed to grow if nobody knows who we are and what we do? And so I decided that I needed to figure out a way to build a community that would be supportive and willing to let you talk about yourself for a little bit. Um, and so it turned into She Means Business. It turned into this group of people that have become really supportive and helpful in just encouraging people to be who they are and build what they want to build. Um, I mean, that's a really short synopsis of it. So what do you want to go into in more depth, Emmanuel? You're in charge.
well, I mean, I guess like catch us up to speed how Clarissa became Clarissa.
Oh,
So,
geez. Well, that's 30 some odd years of how I became who I am. So, well,
Careful
I
what
don't
you
know where
ask
to
for. You
start.
might have another 24-hour life.
Ah, jeez.
right, come back.
So, back in the day, no, um, I don't know exactly where to start, but entrepreneurship has always been something I've wanted in my life. I've always wanted to control where my time is spent. And so I've looked around and tried since I was young, different avenues of trying to create a business for myself. I mean, my my mom was big into network marketing, so I started there. It's not where I recommend for, I mean, just because I don't like sales. Um, but started there. We started with one really old called ACN, and they were selling long distance phone cards, which if you don't know what that is, you're not old enough. Um, that's where I started was back that far trying to figure out and build something. And I've always had this desire to be able to do that. Um, Going through the years, life has pushed me one way or another. And I've tried different avenues. I really wanted to figure out a way to build something that I could enjoy doing and not just something that was another job. I didn't want to build myself into a job. And so I've looked and I've tried things. I tried building a crafting company, which I have a whole storage unit full of scrunchies and clocks and many other really cool things that I had a lot of fun making. But again, I don't like sales, so they're not sold yet. They're still in a bucket. And I have another storage unit down in Texas full of all of the things to make them because I got excited about learning new things and making new things and just didn't hone my skills in on what I should do. So, but that was my first beyond network marketing, beyond, just working a job. That was my first attempt at actually trying to create something that I loved to do. and do that as a career or as a business. But again, that one didn't work out, and I'm sorry about my camera. It's motion detected. It's cool, except that I can't find my remote to turn off the motion detection, so it
I
makes you
kind of wish
nauseous.
I had that so I could like be active.
So I did that crafting thing. I have a bunch of stuff. I think it's super cool, super fun. It's just I don't know how to sell it. I've done a couple of craft shows with it, and it's just kind of sitting there. And so I've been on this journey trying to figure out what to do next. And in my career, I have been working as a bookkeeper and working with numbers, and found that I really do enjoy that. And so I started looking at a way to start my own bookkeeping business on the side, because you can make quite a bit more money doing it on your own than being paid hourly or salary to do it. And so that's what started my mindset this year of getting myself to a point where I could create a business that would be sustainable for me, for my family. The Again, there's always a backstory to the reason why I do something. So the backstory to that is, stop following my hands. I can't talk with my hands. Um, the backstory to that is my husband and I actually had moved very suddenly from Texas to Arizona for a job that we both were taking on, and it was working at an addiction recovery center that my aunt owned, and the purpose was there in that job. I really wanted that purpose. I wanted life with purpose, and so we came here for that. Unfortunately, the center came across, there was a lot of issues with insurances, and the center closed 3 months after we moved. And so we were both without work and without direction. So at that point, I got another job back in bookkeeping, and it's been a great opportunity for me. It's provided for me, but my husband has been struggling to find anything. And so that is the reason why I decided that I needed to just break out on my own and do something for myself, because I wasn't going to get far enough trying to go on the career path. And so I started looking at business. I actually have I have a really great website that I like for my bookkeeping business. I started trying to figure out how to market, how to be on Facebook, how to do Facebook ads, which is really ridiculously complex for me. And I realized that I'm like, well, I have to be this social media person. I have to be this and this to be able to be this bookkeeper. And I just was running into all these roadblocks. And I mean, even in the process of it, my aunt and I, we got 100. We went old school. We have 100 signs that have my bookkeeping business and my phone number, and we went and put them all across town. And some of them are still standing, thinking that for sure we'll get some calls, we'll get some momentum with it. But it was not happening. It just wasn't moving, and I couldn't figure out why. So in the process of trying to figure out why, I've been consuming content on business and trying to just keep my mind in that mindset of business. And so I came across a really awesome book that I absolutely love, and I refer to it and think about it all the time, from Rachel Rogers, and it's called We Should All Be Millionaires. And I actually, I'll do my own little plug. I have it. It's my favorite. It's sorry, I lost you guys for a second.
Here.
Anyways, I found that book, and something that she said in the book really resonated with me, and I feel like it flipped a switch. She says that in so many times in our lives, we're told that wanting money is a selfish thing, that wanting to have the money available is selfish, and you're being greedy. And that's something that the way that I was raised, that is definitely something that is in my background, as a feeling of I'm feeling like I'm being greedy because I want more money. But at the same time, like, I want to be able to do things. I want to be able to do things with my family. I want to be able to do things with other people. And I mean, when you don't have the money to even hardly buy groceries for your family, you can't have people over, and you can't help the person that's on the corner needing help, because you don't have any money. You know, they could come and ask me for $1, but I 100% didn't have $1 to spare. And so I was on this interesting place where I'm like, I know I need more money to do things and to help my family, but I'm being selfish saying I want more money. And she threw that concept on its head, and she said, no, you know, you wanting more money is the only way that you're going to be able to make a difference in the world. Making a difference in the world without money, I mean, it's possible, but it's so much harder. It is so much harder to make a difference when you don't have the funds to back it up. And so hearing it that way just opened my mind, because, you know, then she's saying, you know, you can hire employees and you can pay them what you feel like would be something that would benefit them and be, you know, of an actual living wage. And I think back to all the times that I've worked, and I worked so hard for the people that I've worked for, but they only pay me just barely what, you know, the very bare minimum that they can to make sure that they keep you employed and keep you happy enough to stay. And I just feel like there's so much opportunity for us to be able to provide better for people. And if I take that on myself, then at least, if nothing else, 4 or 5 people down the road will have something better because of the effort that I put into it. So at that point, when I found her book, I started really like delving into all of her content and just listening constantly to that to keep my mindset there. And that's when because I was focused so much on content, I found Layla Hermosi, and she's also really empowering when it comes to putting you in that mindset and believing that millions is an achievable number. Because, I mean, I'm from backwoods Texas. Millions is a really big number when I when I think about it. And the fact that she put that into my mindset that it is achievable, and it's achievable in a shorter period of time. I mean, Alex went from sleeping on the floor in his gym to 10 years later running this massive company and being able to support so many people. And I mean, there's nothing different in my capabilities. There's nothing different in anybody's capabilities to what they have, to what we have. They didn't come from a bunch of money, and they didn't come from a whole bunch of backing. They didn't have amazing credit scores so they could just get everything that they wanted by just putting in a loan application. They had to work for it. Same with Rachel. She came with from a background of nothing, and she grew herself up to be something super inspirational. And so I found all of these people, and I just resonated with their messages that they were giving out. And so happened to be one day when I was there was this book launch that I found out about Alex's, and so like, well, let me go sit on this book launch. He's going to give free stuff away. It's on a Saturday. I have time. I was sitting there hand making my signs that were going to be going and putting on this side of the road, and like, well, I have time because I'm putting stickers on all of my signs, because I did buy the signs with my information on them and they looked great. But then when I put one out, you couldn't read any of it because it was way too small. So I had to go and buy stickers and print off stickers to like make it big enough so you could see at least my phone number. And the fact that I was trying to sell bookkeeping, because I mean, why would people call you if you just have a number out there? You don't really want that. So anyways, I was sitting there making those signs, and he was finally, when we got to the point where he said what he was going to be giving out for free, and really I just wanted his book because I wanted to see what his money models were. I just like, that's what I wanted. But then he mentioned that he had this platform at school that he was giving a 3-month membership for. And when he told me, like I was like having a conversation with him, but
Yeah.
when he told us about that, the platform and what it was for and what it could do, I cried. And it's such an amazing opportunity. Yes, that book right there. It just was so, not even eye-opening, just world-opening. It changed the trajectory of my world in that moment. Sitting here on my, like, in my tiny little apartment. I mean, my apartment is so ridiculously tiny here, I can't stand it. But sitting here watching him and realizing that I could make this change. And I've been trying to. I mean, it had been 6 months. I've been working at it, but I hadn't been seeing the results. And finding that, I was like, okay. And so then that's when I started, She Means Business. Like, as soon as he got that link to me, I was like, okay, I'm on it now. Let's do it. And so I've been working through building the She Means Business group into something that my goals with it is that it's going to be something that is expansive enough that when you have a new person looking to start a business and they are looking for some clientele, they can come into this wonderful community of people that are supportive and that are available and say, you know what, I'm looking for 5 new people to bring on to my business. And the people that are available in this community are like, hey, I'm looking for this. And they can become those support for them. They can say, hey, you know what, I would love to hire you on as my content creation manager, or as my bookkeeper, or as my whatever it is, my life coach. There's so many different options. And so my goal and my vision for She Means Business is to have it be this hub that's very similar to those stodgy little not that is so much more fun than those stodgy business groups you go to, because I've been in them before, where you have to go and meet up every whatever Wednesday at 7 o'clock in the morning and listen to people talk about how their business is doing this and their business is doing that. I mean, it's a great concept, but it's so outdated in that respect. And it's really hard the barriers to entry into those kind of networking groups are just incredible. I think the one that I was a part of, it was when I was a realtor back a few years ago, and my brokerage paid like, I think it was like $5,000 for me to be a part of it. If I were to go and try to be a part of it now, it would be impossible for me at this moment in my life. So there are so many other people that are at this moment in their business that they could really benefit from having the ability to network in that way. And I want that to be something that they can do, and they can come and they can do it without having to worry about those barriers of financial like success. Because it's great to have successful people there, but you need the people that are also striving for that success so that we can grow and become what we want to become. So that is what that She Means Business goal is to be that hub. And I do see it being something that is going to be just so helpful for so many people as it continues to grow. It's been growing decently well for the fact that we've been, actually yesterday was our month launch date. We launched on the 10th of September is the first time I told anybody about it. And so we've been there for a month, and we've gotten some really good momentum going already. We've gone from the 6,400s now to ranked at, like, I think we were 1435 when I looked at it this morning. So our ranking has just been shooting up. When I searched the word business in the school, I was finding mine on like page 3 or 4, which I think is amazing because that's a really broad word to search. My goal is to be so far up there so that people find us so quickly, because then that'll help everybody in the community to grow, help their businesses to grow. We need enough people in there so that when somebody has an offer, somebody buys from them. And that's where I want it to be. If you have a great offer, I want you to come and I want you to share it, and I want somebody to buy it from you, because I want everybody in there to have that opportunity for success, because I think that everybody deserves the opportunity to succeed. And so that, the short of like, that's the short version of my life and where I got to She Means Business there. But anyways.
No, that was awesome. Like that gave a very overall picture, and what was important of what you said is like you have to spend. I heard this before too. Spending time with people 33 below you, 33 on the same level as you, and 33% above you, right? So then you get the balance of all three, and so it's like important to lift those that are below you up to the same level and then beyond, because you don't know where that's going. Take them or you can take you, right? And so it's like this platform that you're creating is very important, because instead of a hub of like, hey, do you want a job? I saw this job. It pays about 500, 700 a week. Hey, join this link below. And it's like they spam or Bitcoin or all these spammers in these groups and stuff like that, right? Um, that's what the ones that accept links, become.
Hmm.
And so it's like having a place to actually push, these people out and really be because like in Facebook, I feel like people don't moderate, like they do in school because it's like in school it's personal, right? It's like
Yeah.
you trying to do me dirty in my culture here, so you go have to get out of here. And so
Yeah,
it's
you you have to convince me that you're okay to join before I push that join button. So
right, exactly. With that being said, what membership questions do you have to like help with that?
I asked them what their business is and how long they've been in business because I'd like to know what kind of goals that they have, and then I asked them what they can provide for us, like what they're looking that they think that they can provide as a value to the group. And then I just get their email address because I want to have that available. So it's definitely something that I've learned.
You definitely follow the lifeblood of a business is somebody's email for sure.
Yeah,
How
definitely.
has that shape your culture? Those questions.
So it's given us a good idea as to, I mean, we've not had a ton that I've had to reject. We only have had two. One we rejected, and one I'm learning as to whether who they are and if they're legitimate or not. But it keeps the legitimate people in and keeps those spammers out for me, because if they're going to share with me their business and how long they've been in business, if it looks like there's question, then I can further go into it and say, okay, so what is, like, share me your, where's your website? Let me see what it is that you're actually doing so that I know that they're a legitimate person, um, and not just somebody looking to scam. Because that's the issue that I ran into. I jumped into a couple of those, you can post for free on Facebook ones, and oh my goodness, my email is a mess now because I let myself fall into that trap, and I want to keep that trap away from our little community here at school. And so I do I have started also a directory that I really think is going to be a key point to be able to search through people. So when you want to find somebody that does this particular task, you can go and search the directory. I've got it on Airtable. I'm not 100% in love with it right now, so it's a work in progress. But my ultimate idea is that it'll have something that has everybody's contact information, which on the other hand also means I need to make sure that I'm protecting the people that are in the group, that I'm bringing in only people that are actually going to use that information in the right way.
For
So
sure.
great. What is that? So with great power becomes great responsibility or whatever. So I gotta make sure that I'm keeping track of that. So, but yeah, that's really the process of getting in. There's simple questions. I'm not going to sit there and be like, I mean, if people are coming in and thinking that they want to start a business and not 100% sure, we welcome them in the group as well. We just need to know that they're real.
For sure. When have members given you feedback based on like what you got going on and how has that like changed what you do?
It's phenomenal.
So we have gotten a good amount of feedback. The people that have joined, they are very appreciative of the space, and we try to keep an authentic group there where people can come in and feel just safe in throwing their ideas out there too, because you need a place to brainstorm a lot of times. And so we've gotten a lot of good feedback from that, where people have just enjoyed the authenticity of the group and the ability to come in and share what you do, and that where um, you don't feel guilty for sharing your link. So that's definitely been some good feedback I've gotten from the group for sure.
No, that's awesome because yeah, for sure people like, feel like ousted when they're like, hey, by the way, I do this if you need help. And it's like, promotion, get out here.
Right?
Cancel him, get him.
You can't talk now for 3 weeks. I'm going to put a piece of tape over your mouth. I mean, I've had that happen to me. I'm like, well, I didn't even realize they couldn't do a link. I'm sorry. It was not even a link. So, Yeah, yeah, that's the pain point that I was finding when I was trying to do things on Facebook. And I mean, Facebook still has some really good benefits to it. That's where a lot of people are. So it's where I've pulled a good amount of the people that have come into our group. They've come from Facebook, and so I very much appreciate Facebook for that. I just, it's not a place that I feel like I can expand the way that I want to. So that's why I love school, because I have all the control. And I mean, I guess that's my bookkeeper in me, because if you ask any bookkeeper, you want to have all the control, and I have to have all the control. If anybody tries to tell me that I can't have access to something, I'm like, but why? I need all the information. So that's where I like having school, where I have all the control and I can make sure that it's running and it's doing what it's supposed to do, and everybody's getting as much value as they can out of it. So
Yeah, for sure. Tommy said, I'm in 3-day jail for posting links to hand raised in a private group. So, yep, we've all been to jail for sure. It's hilarious
yep.
because it's definitely a great tool, a resource to use, but it's like you gotta learn, I guess, more so the limitations of it. Because it's like you create all this activity, and then you can't follow up with that activity. You're like, man, if only I could talk more. If only I could
Yeah.
send one more message. If only I could do one more friend request.
Right.
So when it comes to strategies that helped you boost your engagement to go from the super high thousands to the 1400s, like what strategies have you implemented?
Consistency on my part, because one of the things that they do look at when you're looking at the rankings and the discovery is the activity of the owner. And so I am consistently in there. Now it's not all day, because I do work my 9 to 5 still. But I'm there making sure that I'm at commenting and acknowledging everybody's comments that come across, because it's important that they feel that they're part of the conversation. And when they're part of the conversation, they will continue that conversation. And so that's one of the key things that has brought us that way. Also, just um, being open to let other people interact as well. I think that it's important that they are allowed to post, especially in the very beginning here of this group, when we need to have people's input. So I didn't put the blocks on mine to restrict their posting ability, because I needed everybody to be a part of to get that snowball, rolling down the hill. So I think that that's another important thing. And then just a lot of trial and error, because I've noticed as I've gone through, like I did have one weekend where I was really focused on building something else for a weekend, and I backed off on school. And honestly, like school made me feel bad, because they gave me a little gray dot, and I was like, what the heck? And then I felt bad because I was like, well, all of a sudden people weren't posting in the group. And I realized at that moment that if I'm not actively involved, then the group is going to fall flat.